Good day, All Things Healing podcast and the video. I wanted to share something this morning. I was listening to a word and I heard something that reminded me of me. And he was talking about being careful about what you fill your mind with in a vulnerable state. So whether that's an accident, there's a heartbreak or something traumatic that happens that you experience in your life, we have to be mindful of what you're filling your mind with in that state. I was going through a breakup. There was a time when I was going through a breakup. And I remember I created a playlist of just sad love songs. Some were titled, I'm Bad at Love. There's just anything that kept me in that sad, depressed, emotional state. I made it a custom to listen to those things, to just so I can stay in that, so I can feel those things, and I'm in my feelings. I just want to just stay there and just keep processing that thing over and over again. And then I started to make decisions in that vulnerable state, which is not a good thing to do. I end up getting a car, trying to get back at somebody because they wanted a car like that. So I said, I'll show them. I can do that too. And I began to just start dating people immediately. I didn't give myself time to heal. I didn't give myself time for anything. I just did not want to be alone. And I used people as collateral damage while I was still hurting, still going through that heartbreak. And it's sad. It really is sad. I asked for forgiveness. I did not know what I was doing in that vulnerable state. I was just making decisions. What I should have done was open up my Bible and study the word. That's what I should have done. Allow God to work through me, right? Talk to a counselor or a therapist during that time, not to go and get another relationship, get matching tattoos with somebody who I do not no longer talk to, right? Getting an apartment in my name just to get the person out of my house because I made terrible decisions in that state. And it is imperative. It's imperative what you do in that state. You got to make sure you take time out for yourself. Do not bring somebody else in your storm, because you're in the middle of a storm and you don't need to bring anybody else into that storm until you come out of it on the other side. So fear got into my moment of trauma. And I began to declare things such as, I'm bad at love. I'm not doing love no more. I'm just going to be single. I'm not worried about, I'm never going to get married. I started declaring things, right? There's some people who have had car accidents that they don't want to drive no more. I don't drive on the interstate, or I don't drive at all anymore because that accident I had. You have made a declaration in that state, right? In that vulnerable state. The fear has set in. Right? I'm not going to drive again. I'm not going to date again. I'm not going to love again. I'm not going to let anybody hurt me again the way the last person hurt me. You are making declarations in that state of vulnerability, right? And it's not good. I'm telling you, it's not good. I did these things and none of those things worked, right? You can stay stuck in that thing. You'll stay stuck in that cycle, and you start making these declarations like, I don't do this and I don't do that, and you don't do those things, right? You cannot bring something in that you just declared you don't want brought in. And so I'm watching this show last night, which is also a reminder of what I'm talking about. So it was a Christmas show. I love Christmas movies. And these two ladies were best friends. One of them was getting ready to get married, and her husband, her fiance, just did not show up. He did not come. He left her at the altar. So they had this podcast, right? And so they made this pact. She was like all in her feelings. So she started talking about, I'm not dating no more. I'm just done with love. And so they made a pact. Okay, we're done with love. They shook on it, and then so that was their whole theme of their show. And the producer was like, you sure y'all want to go this way? It's like, yeah, we done with love. Then one of them, a year later, met somebody, right, that they really liked. And they fell in love. She didn't want to tell her best friend because they had made this pact about, I'm done with love. And then she only said that because of what the other person was going through. And she thought that, hey, this will make us closer. We're best friends, so we can just do this thing together. And eventually her friend found out, and then she's upset at first. But after she thought about it and she, processed everything, her ex-fiance came back and apologized. I'm not saying that this is what's going to happen in real life. But in this movie, the person came back and apologized. And he was like, it wasn't that. I didn't want to be with you. You're a great person. It's just that I was with you for the wrong reason, right? I was with you because what you did for me. And that was like the closure that she needed, right? Sometimes we don't get that. Okay. There are a lot of times we don't get it, and we have to be okay with that. But in this movie, this person got this closure, and then she was able to release that thing. Her and went and talked to her best friend. They made amends, and everything was, was cool. She went and she ended up getting it because the guy ended up breaking up with her, like, because I don't like how you're doing things. I just open my heart and look what you're doing. Anyway, so she went and got, him, and she made them make back up because her friend was like, she was hurting because she really liked him, but she was willing to give him up because of a pact her and her best friend made. So a lot of times, I say all that to say this. A lot of times when we're going through things, we start making these statements, these declarations, and we feel like we have to live those things out. Now, what if I had stayed in that state and said, you know what, I'm just done. I'm just through with it. Like I was never done with it. I was just sick and tired of being sick and tired. And I had to look at the common denominator, and the common denominator was me, because I was making these choices. I was picking these people, and I was picking them based on things, based on insecurities, based on old beliefs, right? So I had to do my work. I had to go back and do a lot of work in order for me to pick healthy, right? Choose healthy. And that's when my life changed, right? I'm married now. I wouldn't have never been married had I not went through all the things I went through before. Okay? Those things there, and I'm not saying this is everybody's story, this is everybody ending, but this is my ending. I went through these things, and I was like, in the moment, I was like, why am I, like, I'm tired of going through this. Like, I'm sick of it. I'm done with it. Like, I was really feeling that. And then, it all changed. It all changed. So I'm saying all this to say, I'm saying that to say this, just be open to it. Okay. Be open to healing. Be open to, trying new things. Be open to love. Be open to forgiveness. Be open to trusting yourself. And be open to forgiving yourself. The person I needed to forgive was myself. I was beating myself up. Like, Jennifer, you did it again. Nothing never works. You can't pick good. You're bad at love. I started listening to these songs, and these songs were my theme songs. Like, this is how I feel. This song is talking about me. This is me. I'm right there with you, girl. I'm bad at love. I can do bad all by myself. I started making these declarations that were just lies. So be mindful of what and who you turn to in your vulnerable states. Okay. If you're going through something, you're going through a breakup, you're going through a transition, you're going through something, be mindful of who you turn to. Turn to him. All right. Stop turning to people, because if you turn to people who are also experiencing that same thing, they're just going to confirm what you're already feeling. You just be like, yep, you right. Yes, girl, we done. We ain't dating no more. Bump these men, bump these people. You're going to start making these, when you find people that co-sign what you already experiencing, my goodness. So just be mindful of that. And like I said, turn to God, read his word. Because if it wasn't for me turning to him, I do not know where I would be, right? He reintroduced me to him, to myself, and back to him. And then I was able to heal. I was able to work through those things. I was able to get the support that I needed, right? And now I'm able to help other people. So be careful what you fill your mind with when you're vulnerable. When you're going through that breakup, when you're going through that, whatever that thing is, whatever that trauma is, be mindful of what you're filling yourself up with. Is important. It's imperative. I made so many bad choices in that vulnerable state. Do not make any major decisions when you're vulnerable, when you're upset, when you're mad, when your heart has just been ripped out. Do not make any major choices. Do not make any decisions, period. Allow yourself that time to heal, to process, to go through that thing, okay? So you can come out better and not bitter, okay? I came out bitter. I had to go back. I had to go back in and come back out better. I don't want to be bitter. I want to be better. All right. So be careful what you fill your mind with when you're vulnerable. All right. I hope this was helpful. Wanted to share my heart because it was on my heart. And that's all I got this morning, this day. Have an amazing day. All right. And stay in peace.